Hi, I'm Harold Bell, and this is the Legends of Inside Sports and the Way We Were. On today's show, 1st of February, as we head into Black History Month, I think about my friend, Muhammad Ali. Why do I think about Muhammad Ali? It has nothing to do with boxing. It all has to do with people. And one of those people, one of his favorite people, were children. He loved children. And I want you to listen to a brief interview during our historical interview in 1974 where he talks about his love of children. Okay, hold on. Let's see if I can go down here and find it. Dun, dun, dun. Okay.
Basically, always you can't help from loving children, regardless of who they are, what race, creed, or color, because they're innocent and they don't have no desire for profit. And it's only when we like a little infant, like a baby. An infant has the riches of God. As everything belongs to God, everything belongs to the infant. It's only as the child ages in life that he realizes that this is yours and that's mine. And they're so innocent and so godly when they're small. This is why I like children. I don't care what race, white, black, Chinese, Mexican. They don't know about no code, don't know about no profit or no money. Ain't no such thing as this is yours and that's mine. Everything belongs to them. So this is why I'm so crazy about little children. Not just me, the worst gangsters, the worst prostitutes, anybody love little children, little babies.
Okay. Everybody loves little babies. Well, I tell you what. I want to take us down the road today because I found an inspirational talk that I think we all need to hear as Americans, Black Americans, white Americans. And this great talk was given by a baseball coach named John Scolinos. And what happened, there was this young guy who was attending his first baseball clinic in Tennessee. And Coach John Scolinos was the guest speaker. And this was his first time out. And he talks about that exhilarating experience of listening to the coach. And what I want to do now, I just want to walk you through that experience. And like I said, this is one of the most inspirational talks that I've ever read when it comes to understanding what our problems in America really are. If you're truly interested in making America great, listen to his great speech by the late, great John Scolinos. Now, this all started when this young man got in line, right, to register to go into the hotel. He starts out, he says, John Scolinos was a Hall of Fame college baseball coach. And he coached Pepperdine University from 1948 to 1960 and Cal Poly University from 1953 to 1991. In Nashville, Tennessee, during the first week of January 1996, more than 4,000 baseball coaches descended upon the Opera Land Hotel for the 52nd Annual American Baseball Classic Association Convention. And while he waited in line to register with the hotel staff, he heard several more veteran coaches rumbling about the lineup of speakers scheduled to present during the weekend. One name in particular kept resurfacing, always with the same sentiment. Oh, John Scolinos is here. Oh man, he's worth every penny of my airfare. He said to himself, who is John Scolinos? He said, I wondered no matter. I was just happy to be there. In 1996, Coach Scolinos was 78 years old and 5 years retired from a college coaching career that began in 1948. He shuffled to the stage to an impressive standing ovation, wearing dark polyester pants, a light blue shirt, and a string around his neck from which home plate hung, a full-size, stark white home plate. Seriously, he said, I wonder, who is this guy? After speaking for about 25 minutes, not once mentioning the prop hanging around his neck, Coach appeared to notice the snickering among some of the coaches, even those who knew him. They had to wonder exactly where he was going with this, or if he had simply forgotten about home plate since he had gotten on the stage. Then finally, he said, "You're probably all wondering why I'm wearing home plate around my neck." He said, his voice growing real testy. He's getting pissed off. He said, I laughed along with the others, acknowledging the possibility. Coach then said, I may be old, but I'm not crazy. The reason I stand before you today is to share with you, baseball people, what I've learned in my life. What I've learned about home plate in my 78 years. Several hands went up when Coach asked how many Little League coaches were in the room. He said, do you know how wide home plate is in Little League? After a pause, someone offered 17 inches. More a question than an answer. Coach said, that's right. He said, how about in Babe Ruth's day? Any Babe Ruth coaches in the house? Another long pause. 17 inches. I guess from another reluctant coach. That's right, said Coach Scolinos. Now, how many high school coaches do we have in the room? Hundreds of hands shot up in the air as the pattern began to appear. How wide is home plate in high school baseball? 17 inches, they said, sounding more confident. You're right, Coach barked. And you college coaches, how wide is home plate in college? 17 inches, they all said. Any minor league coaches here? How wide is home plate in professional baseball? 17 inches. Right. And in major leagues? How wide home plate is in the major leagues? 17 inches. Coach said 17 inches. He confirmed, his voice bellowing off the walls. And what do they do with a big league pitcher who can't throw the ball over 17 inches? Everyone paused. They sent him to Pocatello, which I guess is the minor leagues. He hollered, drawing a big laugh. What they don't do is this. They don't say, that's okay, Jimmy. You can't hit a 17-inch target. We'll make it 18 inches or 19 inches. We'll make it 20 inches so you have a better chance of hitting it. If you can't hit that, let us know so we can make it wider still. 25 inches? Coach paused. The coaches in the audience were silent. He said, what do we do when our best player shows up late to practice, when the rules forbid facial hair, and a guy shows up unshaven? What if he caught drinking? Do we hold him accountable, or do we change the rules to fit him? Do we widen the plate? The chuckles gradually faded as 4,000 coaches grew quiet. The fog lifting as the old coach's message began to unfold. He turned the plate toward himself and using a Sharpie, he began to draw something. When he turned it toward the crowd point up, a house was seen, completely with freshly drawn door and 2 windows. This is the problem in our homes today, he said. With our marriages, with the way we parent our kids, with our discipline, we don't teach accountability to our kids. And there's no consequence for failing to meet standards. We widen the plate. Pause. He's wait. And then to the point, at the top of the house, he added a small American flag. This is the problem in our schools today. The quality of education is going downhill fast, and teachers have been stripped of the tools they need to be successful and to educate and discipline our young people. We are allowing others to widen home plate. Where is that getting us? Silence. The room was silent. He replaced the flag with a cross. And he said, this is the problem in the church, where powerful people in positions of authority have taken advantage of our young children, only to have such an atrocity swept under the rug for years. Our church leaders are widening home plate for themselves, and we allow it. And the same is true with government. Our so-called representatives make rules for us that don't apply to themselves. They take bribes from lobbyists in foreign countries. They no longer serve us, and we allow them to widen home plate. And we see our country falling into a dark of abyss while we watch. I was amazed, said the young brother who was there participating. He said, I was amazed at a baseball convention where I was expected to learn something about curveballs and bunting and how to run better practices. I had learned something far more valuable from an old man with home plate strung around his neck. I had learned something about life, about myself, about my weaknesses, and about my responsibility as a leader. I had to hold myself and others accountable to that which I knew to be right. Lest our families, our faith, our society continue this undesirable path. If I'm lucky, the coach said, you will remember one thing from this old coach today. It is this. If we fail to hold ourselves to a higher standard, a standard of what we know to be right, if we fail to hold our spouses and our children to the same standards, if we are unwilling or unable to provide consequence when they do not meet the standards, if our school, churches, and our government fail to hold themselves accountable to those that they serve, there is but one thing to look forward to. With that, he held home plate in front of his chest, turned it around, and revealed its dark black backside. He said, dark days are ahead. Coach Scolinos died in 2009 at the age of 91, but not before touching the lives of hundreds of players and coaches, including mine, said the young coach. Meeting him at my first convention kept me returning year after year, looking for similar wisdom and inspiration from other coaches. He is the best clinic speaker the ABCA has ever known because he was much more than a baseball coach. His message was clear. Coaches, keep your players no matter how good they are. your own children, your churches, your government, and most of all, keep yourself at 17 inches. And this, my friends, is what our country has become. And what is wrong with it today? How do we fix it? Don't widen the plate. That's what he said. You know, as I look back, I think about Muhammad Ali and how he cared about children. And I think about Coach and what he said about the churches, what he said about our government, what he said about education, what he said about parents. All that has come recycled. It is recycled. The Coach and Muhammad Ali were prophets. 20 years ago, the Coach predicted what happened with Larry Nassar, the doctor for the U.S. Olympic team. He predicted that. He predicted that. He predicted that about our education in our schools. Look at the PG County in the district, how they are failing our kids. So this was truly, truly very inspiring in a lesson. And you know, it makes me think about, did I widen the plate? No, I know I didn't widen the plate. But you know what? You know, I have to ask myself. I know my number's going to be called one day. When I leave here, you have to wonder, did you make the world a better place? I don't think I did. Not the shape that this world is in today. And when I say that, all you got to do is look at the State of the Union, the message, and you look at those politicians who are supposed to be leading us, supposed to be our leaders. They don't like each other. The Republicans don't like the Democrats. And this is who we are depending on to help us make America great. I just want to take this time to thank all of you, great men and women who have inspired and touched my life as I've tried not to widen the plate against all odds. You don't have the answer to me, but look in the mirror and ask yourself, have I tried to widen the plate? And have I just talked the talk and not walked the walk? That's what it's all about. We do a lot of talking, and that's about it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that inspirational talk. I started out with Muhammad Ali and ended up with Coach John Scolinos. I hope he inspired you the way that he has inspired me to keep on doing what I'm doing. I want you to remember, you got to get out of here, that every black face you see is not your brother, and every white face is not your enemy. And until next time, I'm Harold Bell, and you can color me gone.